Hi guys, Rob from Rob's Model Cars. I'm back again today with another new model review. Now what I've got here is the LS Collectables NISSAN 300ZX and this is the Z32 model. So this Z was between 89 and 98, although there was an update towards the end, towards the 98. But this is basically based on the 89 to say 96 version. So this is the first LS Collectables model that I've got in the collection and that we're reviewing. So it just comes in this plain blue cardboard box with the LS Collectable logos on it. If we open it up, the model does come in a foam shell to protect it. We'll get that out. I've already removed the tape on the sides and it's got a little bit of tissue paper over the top of it as well. So if we open that up, and the model is bagged as well in a plastic bag. So we'll get this out onto the turntable and we'll have a closer look at it. These models retail pretty wildly in price, anywhere between sort of 160 Australian dollars to high 200s. I actually got this from an Australian die-cast store and it was only $145. But I did get a further discount off it, and you'll see why in a minute. So, as I say, we'll put this on the turntable and we'll have a closer look at this 300ZX Nissan model from LS Collectables. Okay, so here we have the LS Collectables 1/18 scale Nissan Z32 300ZX. Now, you might have noticed straight away that it's missing some side mirrors, and that's because they came broken in the box, as you can see here, and also the rear wiper off the rear window also came broken in the box. Now the reason is that this model is not screwed into the foam shell, and during transit it's obviously moved around and it's snapped these mirrors off on both sides. So that is the number one problem with this model, which is why I got an extra discount. And if you're listening, LS Collectables, you need to start screwing your models into the foam shell, otherwise you're going to have a lot of other people, customers, that end up with broken models. Now, a few of you guys that follow me on Facebook have mentioned that you've had quite a few of the same issues with this particular LS Collectable models with broken mirrors, so it's not an exclusive issue to me, it's a common thing. So you really need to sort that out, LS Collectables, and screw these models into the foam base. Now, the other thing is that a few other collectors have said they've had some quality issues with the paint finish on these models and also some glue residue as well. I've had a pretty good look over this model and I don't seem to have any of those issues. I'm reasonably happy with the paint finish on it, and I don't really see any glue residue anywhere, so maybe I'm just a lucky one there. But overall, the proportions of the model look pretty good. Some of you know that I do own a real Nissan Z like this, twin turbo 2-seater version, except mine is the slick top, so it doesn't have the Targa top. So that's why I love to collect these Nissan Z cars, or Z cars we call them in Australia. So yeah, it's nice to have one in the collection. There's only one other company that makes a model of this car, and that is the older Kyosho die-cast versions. Those models are a little bit crude and they're pretty hard to find nowadays as well, but they are a fully opening die-cast. This is a sealed resin model, so there are no opening parts on it, but this really is the only current rendition of this Nissan Z car. So if you want one of these in the collection, they come in quite a few different colours, and this is obviously made by LS Collectables. So first impressions, as I say, the proportion is good, the stance is good. Of course it's just a standard car with the standard wheels, but I think they've done a pretty good job in the overall shape of the model. I've had my Z for nearly 20 years, so I'm pretty familiar with the body shape on these models, and I think they've got it pretty close. Now if we start maybe with the front of the model, there is no photo etch mesh. These are just solid plastic pieces in the front. Headlight detail is satisfactory. There's just clear plastic lenses on the headlights. There should be some sort of light diffraction lines on the headlight lens like on the Kyosho model, but there's none on this. It's just a clear piece of plastic. The front fog lights, side indicators, turn signals, they're okay. It's not the highest quality model, but as I say, this was a $150 model, so you can't expect BBR standards on a model that is priced in this category. So it's acceptable in the front. The wheels are replicated pretty good for the standard wheel. 90s car, so just a plain silver brake disc, no cross drilled on this one, never came with that. Just little small NISSAN black brake calipers front and rear. As I mentioned, the mirrors were broken off, but they are a colour-coded mirror on the side. Just plastic windscreen wipers on the front. The plastic that they use for all the windows is pretty clear. I do have a little bit of minor scuffing and scratching. I'm not sure whether that's visible on the camera, but overall pretty good. I think a little bit of a clean up with a soft cloth will get this looking okay. Going to the back of the car, as I mentioned also, the rear wiper was broken in half. I'm not sure how that little piece breaks off, but it did. You've got the little factory boot or hatch spoiler on here. The rear taillights are okay. They've got a nice metallic-y red and orange lens colour in here, and you've got your 300ZX logo in the middle, and just your dual tips either side with your factory exhaust, so two mufflers here with twin tips on each muffler. You do have the little red reflectors on the side of the rear bumper here, but the one big miss for me is that there's no side indicator on the front guard here. Now there should be an orange turn signal indicator. That is missing on this model, so that is a huge miss. I don't care what market this was sold in. Mine was a Japanese import, but they're same. They all have the side indicator or turn signal. LS Collectables, that's a big miss. You really should have put the side turn signal on the front wing. But overall, other than that, that's maybe something I can add to this one. The door handle details are moulded in, and you've got this is the two-seater, so the fuel flap is in front of the rear wheel arch. The 2+2 was a longer wheelbase, longer in the back, and the fuel flap was behind the rear wheel. So this is the two-seater version. So overall, look, I ended up with my discount because of the broken parts. I got another $30 off this model, so this model only cost me $115. So it's a pretty cheap model, really. I can accept those few little issues. I can re-glue those back on. So yeah, for the price that I bought this, I'm not too upset. Now, one thing that is interesting is it does have rolling wheels, even though it's a sealed resin model. A lot of resin models, the wheels do not rotate, so these do turn, but there is no steering. It's just a solid axle through there, and as you can see on the bottom, it's just a solid black plastic floor. So yeah, overall, it's not too heavy either. GT Spirit models are quite a lot heavier in their resin models. This is not super light, and it's not super heavy. So that's the exterior, the wheels, brakes. I'm reasonably happy with it, considering this model only cost me $115. If I paid up around $250, $300 for this model, I would be disappointed, to be perfectly honest with you. Now let's talk about the interior. It's plain at best. It's not mega detailed. It's just all black. Black dashboard, black seats, black flat cargo area. You can see the Targa top, so you get a bit more view of the interior. There's just a little gauge sticker on the instrument binnacle with your speedo, tachometer, fuel and boost gauge, but everything else is pretty plain. There's no sticker or highlighted buttons, stereo in the center console. It's just all molded black gear shift, handbrake handle. There is no seat belts in this car, so yeah, it is basic to say the least, and there's just this big flat cover in the back which is usually a retractable blind, and you have your cargo area underneath that, but this does not have that. So as I say, it is a very basic interior at best. There's no flocking, no carpeting, and no seat belts either. So, but you get what you pay for with these models. But I still think that GT Spirit models, around the same money that these retail for, are a better quality resin model. So just a short review today. Happy that I got this so cheap, and to add another 300ZX to my collection of Nissans, but disappointed with the broken parts of the model due to insufficient packaging by LS Collectables and the lack of detail on this model. It is a very basic model, let's be honest. So few things to improve there for LS Collectables. I wouldn't say that I would buy another one. This will probably be my last LS Collectable model that I buy. Not really super impressed with it, to be honest. There are a few little marks on the paint, but I will probably end up pulling this model apart and repainting it before I glue the broken parts back on. For those that know, all my collection of Z cars are all white, so I'm going to repaint this white. I put an order in for a white one, and it never got ordered for me, so I bought this yellow one instead because it was cheap. So yeah, I'm going to repaint this white. Do I recommend these models? Depends on the subject matter. It depends on the car that you're after. If no one else makes it, like me, no one else makes a model of this car, so I bought it. If you're going to buy one, try and find the cheapest one. Don't overpay for these LS Collectable NISSAN 300ZX model, because you maybe feel a bit, let's say, disappointed when the model arrives and you see the lack of detail in it. So I try to be as honest as I can with model reviews on this channel. Most of the reviews I do are all of high-end models, so I rarely criticise, only for small little things, but this is sort of towards the budget end of models, and I have to be honest with you guys. So just being honest. And yeah, if you really want a Nissan 300ZX of this older style, buy one of these LS Collectables for the best, cheapest price you can. That way you won't be too disappointed. But there also is a better model of this car, the latter model, updated 98 model. Kyosho make that one. That is also a sealed resin model, and it is the 2+2, so the long wheelbase car. And I've seen one of those, and the detail is a lot better than this one. So if you want a really detailed Z car, go for the Kyosho one, which is a bit more expensive than this one, but you won't be as disappointed. So that's it for today's honest review of the LS Collectables NISSAN 300ZX. If you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button. Smash that like button also. It really helps with the search results of my videos on YouTube. And you can also check out all my social media as well. So I'm on Facebook, Rob's Model Cars. I'm on Instagram, Rob's Model Cars. And yeah, that's it for today's model review. So stick around. I've got a few more videos to do before Christmas time. A few models have not arrived this year as promised by BBR. I think they're running late, so it's sort of limited how many new model reviews I've been able to film at the end of this year. But stay tuned, I've got a couple more before the end of the year to upload. So stick around. Thanks for all your support on the channel, and take care. So until next time, thanks for watching Rob's Model Cars.